Yo, what's going on, gentlemen between the ages of 18 and 34? Welcome back to another video. Today we are working on the E36. Start today's video, I want to congratulate myself on this massive achievement here. I'm wearing glasses again that are normal, not the crazy Coke bottle ones, and I can also finally wear my contacts and see something. So I'm stoked on that. Gave me a little bit of motivation to come out into the garage today and film something for you guys. So today we're doing valve cover gasket. I've never done it before on any car, so it'll be a learning experience. The goal for this weekend is to actually bring the 325 IS into the garage and start cracking down on that. It's been about a month since you guys have seen that car, and I haven't touched it in like a month. So I'm very excited. I'm like anxious, and I'm like very ready to get that car in here. But I've had some things to do on the M3 that have kind of just been put on the back burner that have had to get done. I did the short shifter last video, you guys saw that, and prior to that we did the exhaust, the strum-on catback. A couple little things I had to wrap up with the exhaust because I got the right brackets. Hopefully I can fix the exhaust leak. But the main thing today, or tonight, or however long it takes, is the valve cover gasket. So I'm pretty sure I got everything I need. And here they sent me, this was like in a completely separate order. This is part of that job, they're washers. We'll get into all this when we get there. And just keep in mind before I start this part of the video, this isn't gonna be like a full how-to guide, DIY. It's my first time doing this. So normally on a job like this, where it's something I've never done before, I just film what I'm doing. I include my mistakes, I include my failures, and then like I reflect at the end of the video, so hopefully you can take something away from it, so it's not a waste of me making a video out of it. But if there's anything that I skip, just keep in mind there's a bunch of videos that I'm personally referencing to do this job, so it's probably not the best video for you to watch if that's what you're trying to do. So we'll go ahead and pop the hood here. Chances are, if you're doing a valve cover gasket, you're probably doing it for a reason. It's either leaking, you're finding spots on the driveway, or it's smelling like oil a lot. This car smells like oil when you don't drive it after a while, which is kind of normal for a super old BMW, so I'm just doing it as preventative maintenance. Yeah, chances are you probably have a reason you're doing this. So again, reference other things, but take away information from this if you want to. I'm gonna start taking off the beauty cover. It's 2 8mm. Alright, next thing we're going to do is actually pull these spark plugs and the coil packs. I'll show you real quick. I've done a video on this like within the last month, so you can actually reference that if you want to know how to do this in particular. Good thing to do would be change your coil packs and your spark plugs at the same time. So these coil packs actually have like this quick release clip, which is super nice, super convenient. So all you have to do is get the 10s off of each side here. So you got one there, and then they just crisscross. You also have some ground straps. That's between cylinders 3 and 4. So all you're gonna do is lift those plates up when the coil packs come out, and then we're gonna kind of push this harness back when all this comes out. So just start by disconnecting your coil packs, and you're gonna go ahead and remove your spark plugs. And then I believe all we really have to do is unbolt the actual valve cover, and it should just pop off. Alright, spark plugs have now been removed. They're actually a little bit wet, and these are pretty much brand new. I put these in probably like a month and a half ago, so not necessarily stoked about that. I'm not really sure. I guess the spark plug like grommets, the seals, hopefully will solve that issue, because I really don't want oil in there. You don't want oil in there. You don't want misfires, anything like that. So I'm hoping that that'll fix it, but I have no idea. Alright, so I removed that beauty cover. And we're pretty much ready. All we need to do is get the actual 10 mils that are all along the valve cover gasket. So as you can see, you have a 10 here, and you can just follow this. There's a bunch of them all along the side. There's one in the very back corner you can get without an extension. So yeah, go around. There's some actually underneath the rail, kind of. They're pretty easy to get to as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these out. And then I believe that this needs to, yeah, this should come off because everything's gonna come off with the valve cover, so we don't wanna pull this. I can't remember what this is. I don't know if this is the crankcase. I mean, that would make sense. This is probably the crankcase ventilation hose. I think that's what it is. There's no oil or anything running through here to my knowledge. I believe it's just for ventilation. So I'm gonna remove that. And yeah, I'll get all these loose and we'll pull this valve. So I have a feeling this is going to be pretty gross because I don't know when it was off last. So hopefully we can get this thing out before, make sure it's not too difficult to get out of here. Okay. There it is. So now it's time to give this a clean. It actually didn't look too bad. Check for scoring on the cams and just check for general wear. Remember that this car has over 200,000 miles, but because the two gaskets or whatever, those are definitely failing with all that oil getting in there, and I think the car will run a lot better when the plugs aren't constantly fouled out by oil. So yeah, it's time to, this actually looks pretty good in here. So I'm going to clean it up and I'll get back to you. I'll kind of show you what I'm doing as I'm going, but I'm probably going to start here. I'm going to give this a full cleaning underneath, especially around here. Any old excess RTV, like you can already see, we'll get it super clean. So I don't know what I'm going to use to clean it, but I'll figure it out. And yeah, again, this is actually a lot better than I thought it would be. There's like no gunk up here, which is really nice. Hopefully the time lapse was like a good enough idea of what I'm doing here, but essentially I'm just taking some 600 grit and very, very, very lightly applying pressure and kind of sanding down the surface just to get rid of any old RTV. There wasn't a lot on the actual valve cover and there's pretty much none on the head, which is nice. It wasn't really the gasket itself I was doing this for, but I figured might as well replace it while I'm in here trying to do the spark plug gaskets, because those were definitely leaking. But if you look here, I just went ahead and cleaned everything with brake cleaner, got off all the RTV, especially with these half moons back here. Can't really see it. Those half moons, there was a good amount of RTV kind of like chunked up in the corners. I made sure to scrape that off. For what I could get to, I used like a plastic scraper just because it feels a little bit nicer than using a hard razor blade, but that's how I got the RTV off over there. So what I'm going to do is reference the Pelican Parts article, and I'm just going to follow their guide as in terms of where to put the RTV. So up by the vanos, kind of in the front here, they say to put some here, I believe some right here, and then obviously the half moons, and then I'll probably just put a little bead on every little corner. and then we'll go ahead and send the gasket on. I'm gonna go ahead and put the spark plug gaskets on now because those don't need any RTV, and then I'll just do some little beads of RTV and we'll put the gasket back on. We could put the valve cover back on. As far as RTV, I'm using this 𝙤𝙧𝙚𝙚 HT black gasket maker. I don't know, it came in the FCP kit. It should be cool for this because they put it in the kit. Alright, so I referenced the Pelican Parts article and put RTV everywhere that they had done in their write-up. So over here in the corner, here on this side on the corner, I did the back very right corner and then the edges of the half moons on both of them, and then that's pretty much it. So it's now time to lay down the valve cover gasket. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and put this gasket on. Try and do it as clean as possible here. I'm gonna start with the back. Sorry, I'm gonna try not to block the camera either. Please don't fucking leak. The gasket is now attached completely. Just go ahead and like manually kind of snug it up on the studs, just so we're making a good seal here before I actually put the valve cover back on. Now, like I said, I already cleaned the valve cover, kind of with the same process that I did for the actual head or whatever. So don't like that. That doesn't like seal. I mean, obviously it's gonna seal when you put pressure down on it, but I'm just being super cautious because I don't really want to do this again for a while. If you've seen this channel, you know my luck, so I'll probably be in here sooner than I'd like to be. But yeah, that looks good to me. I'll go ahead and pull the camera off so you guys can see it. So as you can see, we got our RTV there, RTV on this corner, and then I have the RTV back there on the half moons. Make sure that these are sitting super good in there and that there's no possible weird thing. So I'm gonna take my flashlight and kind of inspect everything just one more time, and then we're gonna go ahead and just throw the cover on. I'm gonna try and get this on as smooth as possible here. Like I said, I already prepped and cleaned the surface of the valve cover. Not sitting super good on there, or I guess it is. It just was a little wobbly, which I guess is fine. Alright, so from here, now that this is on and it's centered, I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle and work my way out, tightening the bolts down. I think I noted it before, but this kit came with new grommets and the new washers, so we're completely covered. Only thing we're not doing is you know, new bolts, but I don't think that's even a serviceable thing. I think, you know, you just keep running those. But these are totally serviceable, and it's recommended, I guess, that you change these. So I'm gonna go ahead and change them. I'm sure it wouldn't make a difference, but whatever. All right, the valve cover is now reinstalled. I did not film me going around and torquing these, but it is just about 7.5 to like 8. It's 89 inch-pounds, so translate that, calculate it, and that's not exact because it starts at 10, so I just went 10 and then less into like 8. So it's like 7.4, but I just went up to 8 and had no problem with it. So I just torqued everything from the center and out. I actually have a photo that I got as reference from Sam, so shout out Sam because he's always coming through with the advice and the help. So yeah, reference that, and if you, I mean, that photo is super helpful. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it here for now. Got a bunch of stuff to clean up, and tomorrow I still need to do an oil change, and I want to fix the exhaust leak and everything before I even put the car back down. It's like 11 p.m. so I'll just pick this up tomorrow. You guys will see the rest of what we do with this car, and yeah, I'll put it all in the same video. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, it is the next day. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that everything looks good here around all the edges. I haven't started the car yet, obviously. I still have to put the spark plugs and the coil packs back in, so I'm going to quickly do that as well, plug everything back in. I'll probably give it a start just to see, as long as it's not spewing oil, that'll be good. Shouldn't be leaking anything. Then we can move on. I can do the oil change. Then I can fix the little things I'd mentioned earlier, and then we can put this car on the ground. Alright, so valve cover is back on, of course, with the coil packs, the spark plugs. I actually noticed, and I should have dealt with this while I just had this off, but there's a missing stud here on the valve cover, which totally blows because this guy's in here not super tight, and the last thing you want to do is not have like full contact with spark. So it should be okay. It's been okay, clearly, because I had never noticed that. So next time around I'll have to just fix that, and then we'll actually probably paint the valve cover. But again, this isn't the last time this is coming off. This is kind of just doing this as preventative measure for now. But the engine bay in this car needs a whole, I want to just go through this car eventually one day and do everything under the manifold and really clean it up. But for now, I just want to make sure that it's running and driving as good as it can with what I've done with it maintenance wise. Down here, went ahead and drained the oil. I'm going to perform an oil change here. Just need to go and actually pull the filter off. And then I'll swap the filter and we'll be good here. Just wanted to change it. Definitely haven't put the amount of miles on that you would like change for oil intervals. But yeah, just change it to be proactive. Might as well. So gonna get that finished up, and then should be good to move on to probably fixing the exhaust, the muffler, and then trying to find the leak. Alright, so I put the beauty covers back on. I ran the car for a little bit just to get it kind of up to temp so the oil filter housing would fill up and then we get more of an accurate reading. So once I put the car on the ground, I'll drive it around a little bit more and top it off. As far as resetting the oil light, all you're going to need on an OBD1 car be a paper clip. The OBD hookup is in the car on the older, or on the newer ones. So for the OBD1 stuff, this is what you got. This is where you would put in like an OBD1 code reader. Alright, so now we got our paper clip and we have it bent up a little bit here, and we got one end in the 7 pin and one end in the 19 pin. I'm just going to cycle the key on, and that should jump it and reset our light. Alright, now as you can see, we have the light reset, which is awesome. So that's an easy, free way, instead of buying a tool, to reset your oil light. Super easy, super simple, it takes like 3 seconds. Alright, next up I'm actually going to use these brackets. These are OEM exhaust muffler brackets that I did not have. I just ended up, I think I had thrown them away or something, and actually Connor was able to send me out some brackets so I can use these. Currently, the muffler is held up with baling wire and zip ties, so I want to fix this as soon as possible. You just use the stock hangers plus these brackets, and they kind of clamp on to the little brackets that are on the muffler. So I'm going to go ahead and install these, and that way our muffler will be a lot more secure. I don't have to worry about it. Alright, it is now time. I'm going to throw this thing on the ground, and I'll drive it around and top off the oil, make sure we're good on our oil level. I got the exhaust properly hung. It's still not perfect, and I'm not sure why that is. You see it hangs out a little bit to the left here, so I might just take the mallet and just tap it and bend the brackets a little bit. I don't know that that's actually the car. It might be this exhaust system's like kind of having it pushed to the side, so I'll probably just tap it this way a little bit. And yeah, exhaust is all hung. I wasn't able to find the leak. I'm gonna deal with it on another day. Rather just get this thing off now so I can put it around before I put it away and bring the white car in. Alright, so we're back down on the ground, letting it warm up to temp real quick before I start driving it. I'm gonna just go ahead and take it a good distance now. I wasn't able to fix that exhaust leak, and it really bums me out because you can hear it, but it is what it is. I'll get to it eventually. I really need to get the white car in, so I want to just be able to drive this. I'll probably take it to work for a few days, something like that, and then I'll put it away. Alright, successfully back in the garage. I put a good probably 50-60 miles on it just now, and I'm stoked. I'm stoked that the maintenance is finally paying off. I kind of have trouble getting comfortable driving this car long distances because it just is an old car with high mileage, and you know, I don't want it broken, I don't want to break it, I don't want anything surprising. So that's why I've been trying to lean more towards maintenance and get this car to where I want it to be, that in that aspect, I guess. Maintenance is super important, especially on something this old, so it just feels good to be able to drive it and feel way better about driving it after all that you know, that I've done in the last couple years with this car. Now I know the lighting is atrocious. I say that every time I'm in the garage. But I'm going to close out the video here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining to watch. Kind of just a little maintenance vlog that I haven't done in a while. I haven't really done just a maintenance video on this car in a long time. So it felt good to just get some stuff done. Oil change, valve cover gasket. Fixed up the exhaust a little bit. I put that spacer, that gasket in there that everybody had mentioned in the comments on the exhaust video. So yeah, drove good, drove great actually, and it feels really awesome. So I'll see you guys in the next video where we finally dive into the 325 and we go into the build plans and everything about it. So get stoked on that. That car's coming back very soon. But I'll transfer these cars. I'll transfer this car into the storage. I'll say that for the next video. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to see any other videos, I got tons on the channel, so check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.